Thank you, Mr. Courtney. We'll now go to Mr. Scott.
General Spencer, you were at Robbins Air Force Base from 80 to 82, I see, and I have the privilege of representing that area. Would like to represent you, or invite you back, I should say, and join you at the base and give you an opportunity to meet some of the men and women that are there today. One of the concerns that I have is, as we've gone through these talks, has been the proposal of arbitrary cuts to the civilian workforce. I personally think we broke faith with them with the furloughs and the other things, and I think that they're a vital role in national defense. And if we don't have our civilian workforce providing the weapon systems that we need and making sure that they're maintained, then we end up having to put more uniformed personnel in those positions. So my question for you is, if these arbitrary cuts to the civilian workforce that have been proposed were put in place, what would the impact on readiness be for the Air Force?
Yeah, thank you for the question, because quite frankly, we haven't treated our civilian workforce very well. I mean, we had a sequestration which forced us to carry thousands of vacancies. We then had to do a government shutdown. We actually had to furlough civilian employees. And so one of the misconceptions I think there is, and I can just speak for the Air Force, is that, you know, we have civilian employees that are sort of doing administrative work. And whereas we do, I mean, and that's important work as well, we have 180,000, roughly 180,000 civilians in the Air Force. 5,000 of them work in the National Capital Region. The other civilians are out in depots, turning wrenches every day. In case of our Air Education and Training Command, as an example, the entire maintenance of the airplanes that we have to train our pilots are maintained by civil service employees. So if you do an across-the-board arbitrary reduction to civilians in the Air Force, the impact on readiness is going to be devastating. We can't make it up. You can't cut civilians off of a flight line or in a depot that are fixing airplanes and expect the work to be done. It just won't happen.
Well, thank you for your comments, and thank you for your service. Gentlemen, if any of the rest of you would like to comment on the proposed cuts, to just arbitrary cuts to our civilian workforce, would appreciate your opinion.
Congressman, from the Navy's perspective, we're in a similar position to the Air Force. Less than 15% of our civilians are in the National Capital Region, and the rest are in, over 30,000 in naval shipyards. We have, thousands in our aviation depots, and just like the Air Force, they provide the readiness, they work on our aircraft and systems, they repair them, they train, they care for our families and our children in our daycare centers. I mean, they're indispensable to what we do and to execute the mission every day.
Sir, same thing with the Army. At the height, probably FY10, we had 285,000 Department of Army civilians. Today we're about 250,000. As the Army end strength continues to go down, there'll be a proportional cut to our civilians as well. I agree with General Spencer. FY13 was a very, very tough year for our civilians. We need to do better in the future. We have to give them some certainty, or we will continue to lose the best and brightest. We'll have a hard time recruiting the best and brightest that'll stay with us. It is a total force with Army civilians, Army military as well.
Congressman, for the record, I would concur with my mates here, and then in particular, we have less than 5% of our civilian workforce who are here inside the National Capital Region, and they're essential to what we do at our depots and all around the Marine Corps. So concur with my mates, sir.
Thank you, General. I have a cousin, actually, that works at your depot in Albany. So thank you for your service, and with that, I'll yield the remainder of my time.